After Dark, Rob Doster, Justin Jackson, and Terrence Oglesby. I got a couple of ACC guys with me, so we're going to dive into the biggest story in the ACC heading into this weekend. Caleb Wilson. It's a broken hand. I did not see a specific timetable for when he is expected to be back. I guess like for most of these things, it normally ends up being like a 4 to 6 week kind of a deal, but he did change. I don't know if you saw this, Justin. He changed the profile picture of himself on Instagram to a picture of Kobe Bryant with the cast on his left hand when he played with 2 broken fingers on his left hand. So maybe Caleb Wilson's just playing tomorrow. Maybe he's just that kind of dude. He broke into the first half against Miami and kept playing. Maybe he's just the kind of dude that we got some potential top 5 picks sitting out when they got the sniffles. And now we got Caleb Wilson who's ready to play through a broken hand. In all seriousness, this is the worst possible thing to happen at the worst possible time for Carolina. What does it mean, Justin, and how can they weather this storm?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, it's 3 to 4 weeks. That's what I've heard. So I think they're hoping that he comes back maybe before the second matchup against the Blue Devils. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's 20-10 that you lose automatically, right? And so you're not going to replace that with just one guy, right? It just means that everybody else that's already playing, their role just gets bumped up, a little bit more. Now, I thought it was interesting, and shout out to our boy John Henson, that's also on the field of 68. But he had said something today on his North Carolina podcast that I didn't even realize. But according to efficiency rating, North Carolina, now albeit when you go advanced metrics and all that sort of stuff, Caleb is through the roof. But as far as the best lineups this year, Caleb isn't in there. So when you look at it from that perspective, can they extend that out to a full game and not just probably a smaller sample size that those numbers are registering? But I look to Stevenson. I think Stevenson is kind of the X factor through this, next however many games it might be that he misses. A guy like Powell, Luka, those guys just having more of a role. But the depth is going to be something that I'm going to be worried about going, into these games because they don't have an easy stretch coming up before the Duke game either. So the depth, I think, is going to be the question mark. But, I mean, this is the time. This is why you come to North Carolina to play big roles and big games. And so can they step up and do it?
T.O.?
My level of concern is through the roof because there's no life raft anymore. Like he was your break glass in case of emergency life raft, throw it off when the cruise ship's going down, just give it to Caleb Wilson. Let's just hope that he can carry us through a first half, which is what happened when they played Duke at home. I do worry now big time because he was the guy that would just keep them afloat. Now, will they beat Pitt? Probably they'll beat Pitt. But after that, it gets interesting. And NC State has been playing a lot better as of late. After that, Syracuse, who has talent. And now you have talent going up against not Caleb Wilson. You have talent going up against some of these other guys, which, it takes a big shot at the depth. And let's be honest, Huber doesn't want to go to his backup bigs. Like Jaron Stevenson if he starts at the 3, you go 3, 4, 5, they're huge. Now you're sliding him up one. Your first big off the bench is James Brown as opposed to just sliding him up a spot. And James Brown's fine. It's not the level of talent that I think even Hubert's comfortable with right now. And it's not that he won't get there, so I don't want to be hard on the kid, but we're here to a point to where it's he hasn't produced where they need him to in order for him to be on the floor long enough. This is worrisome for Carolina, point blank period. I'm worried. As far as the efficiency metrics are concerned with him on the floor and with him not on the floor, I'm not sure I'm willing to buy that because some of those what was he playing, like 34 minutes a game? So that's 6 minutes a game whenever they're blowing teams out. Some of those metrics are being shot to the moon at the end of the games when you're playing like the East Carolinas of the world. No shot at them. You get what I'm saying? So I wonder about that. Was that sample size from conference play only? Was that sample size from preseason also? I'd like to see a little bit more context with those metrics because this is worrisome. I do think you see a lot more of them going a little bit smaller as opposed to going maybe to James Brown off the bench. Maybe they go 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit what we saw last year, trying to play faster with Vasar. You can have Vasar at the top. You can have guards on each side. How do you match up with certain teams? I think you can match up with NC State that way. I think you can match up with Pitt that way, like the next couple of games. How are you going to be able to do this? You got to get creative now because, man, he was your bell cow. I'm worried.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think too, to that point, and then Rob, you can go to that point. Like the rest of their season, they're not going against teams that have massive front lines, right? So to your point, if we have to go small, you're not necessarily giving up massive size to a team that's huge, right? So from that perspective, I don't mind going small. To your point, anytime you lose your best player, period, majority of the time that plays in a way that Caleb Wilson plays, it's 100% concerning. But I think there are ways. Now, do they make the adjustments that they need to? We'll see. But I think there are ways that you can at least make it through this. Might not be pretty, but you can make it through this until he gets back and then see what happens after that.
I think the next two games you can go small. The next 2 games you can go small. After that, you can't go small. You can't go small against Syracuse. They got Donnie Freeman. They got William Kyle. They got guys that are good enough to where like Seth Trimble can't guard everybody.
You can go small against Louisville.
You can go small against Louisville. But I mean, even so, like you can go small against Louisville. I would say Virginia Tech can't go small. Clemson can't go small. Duke can't go small. So 4 out of the next 7? Like you have to be able to throw some of these backup bigs in there, or else it's going to get ugly. So I'm really confused to see like what they're going to do from an adjustment perspective without literally the guy they built everything around. Because this is tough. This would be tough for anybody.
The other part of it too is like what happens if Vasar gets 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes of a game. You know, especially if you're going up against these bigger front lines, that becomes something that is an issue. And you know, the thing that I'm the most concerned about with it is that a lot of what happens with them, and you kind of alluded to this, CO, but a lot of what happens is, okay, we're just going to throw the ball to Caleb 18 feet away from the basket and Caleb go make something happen, right?
Yeah.
It's not like he's producing out of complicated sets and impressively run offense. It's just like, all right, clear out, give him the ball, go get a shot, go get us a bucket. And if you don't have that, where is your offense? Like, where are you creating shots out of? Where does the shot creation come from? And
I think the legend of Seth Trimble could just take off right here. Like if he goes on like one of these 3-4 game 30-point sprees, like, and I think it's possible because I think he's really good. Like
that would be awesome.
That would be awesome, and I think like he could do it. I've never been a bigger believer in Seth Trimble than I have been this year. He's been incredible all year.